It is time for two of the most pointless post-season summer international friendlies, but at least, damn it, we can get some variation in the squads, in the 11s. Well, no, because Steve Clarke has said that he will not be experimenting. I don't know if that's when he goes for a drink later on, he's going to go for the chosen one. But no, it's actually the squad, right? Banter aside, I mean, there's actually a real opportunity with these two matches. Iceland and Liechtenstein, not the cream of the crop. Iceland, kind of middle of the road. Liechtenstein, pot six, pot five kind of team. The team that you'd expect us to scud every single day of the week. We're thinking, right, there's some young talent in there. We know what the likes of John McGinn, McTominay, Robertson, etc. can give us. It's time to put a bit of new energy in there, new blood, fresh air, fresh breath. But no, what do we get? Steve Clarke. This is exactly what he said, and I quote, "I think you know me quite well by now. We really don't experiment too much." There you go. Couple of sips there.
Couple of sips. What can you say, man? It's not. See if it's like a Nations League or if it's a qualifier. I'm like, fair enough. You know, these games are pretty important. Maybe don't experiment, even though I think that we've got an emergence of young players coming through. And I'm not saying Lewis Ferguson's an experiment, but he's not really a guy that. I mean, let's be honest, he's not really had a chance in the last year or two. Has he been in the squads and has he made like appearances from the bench? Yes, but he's still not someone that I would associate as a starter for Scotland. So like, I'm not sure that personally for me he should be in the starting 11, and I wouldn't consider that experimenting. I would just consider that he's way too good not to be starting now. But if you want to go down the experiment route, it's like, why can't we experiment in these friendly games? I don't want to lose a friendly, of course you don't. You don't want to lose any game, and yeah, will it maybe knock you down the FIFA World Rankings a wee bit if you lose, of course. But this is the chance to give players that haven't really had an opportunity yet, showcase them and see what they can do ahead of the qualifiers. Why stick with the players? Well, I'm not saying change it up completely, but see the players that some of us complain about. It's like in the Euros and Nations Leagues and stuff like that. He always went with Ralston, and we wanted Johnston. Why not actually go with Johnston? And how's that fucking experimenting too much? We know what Ralston's got. Why can't Johnston get a chance now? You know, instead of up front always playing Shea Adams, why can't he give somebody? So why can't he give somebody else a chance?
Well, let's look at the guy.
Goalkeeper wise, right? You're on about, oh, who we got after Craig Gordon? Well, here, why don't you actually give someone who's not called Craig Gordon or Matthew Gunn, Angus Gunn? Why not give somebody in goals a chance? I just don't get the guy.
Now, there is a lot of people vying for a first cap. We'll go through them. Kieran Bowie, we've got Josh Dodge, Connor Barron, Andy Irvine, Lennon Miller, Robbie McCrory, and Kieran Slicker. So they're all going for the first cap. Now, two of them are two goalkeepers, of course. But again, why can't they get a game? Now,
I'd like to see Lennon Miller and Josh Dodge start.
I want to point out something Andy Robertson said that, in my opinion, completely and utterly contradicts Steve Clarke. That's what he said, and I quote, "Me and Scott McTominay, John McGinn, we're not going to be around forever. Then it's up to the young lads." End of quote. Right. Well, what chance have the young lads got when Steve Clarke says we don't experiment too much? You know me by now.
Yeah. Plus, if you look at all our top players, they've had like difficult seasons and runs in European football.
Yep.
Like Andy Robertson's, had a long season at Liverpool. All right, they got knocked out the Champions League, knocked out of Europe earlier than they thought, but I don't think he'd be too upset if he got a couple of games off for Scotland and
tough season nonetheless.
And a Josh Dodge came in.
Yep.
I just don't. I mean, Lennon Miller was injured for quite a lot this season, so he didn't play a full season, unlike a John McGinn or a McTominay. So why wouldn't you give Lenny Miller a chance? Look, McTominay's happy. He's just won a fucking Serie A title. I'm sure it wouldn't be the end of the world if Scott McTominay didn't get called up for a friendly, as good as he's been. See if he got these 2 games off. I doubt he's going to sit at home and sulk about it.
Yeah, you know what, man? I think these are the perfect 2 games to give guys time off. like you're pointing out with McTominay, right? But we'll go through the squad here just to reiterate who's in it, because it was announced about a month ago and most of us have forgot, right? So goalkeepers, we've got Gunn unattached, McCrory and Slicker. So Craig Gordon's injured. I mean, is there a case for Liam Kelly? I would put Liam Kelly in there ahead of Slicker.
You know what, man? I would pair over the two games. I'd give McCrory one and give Slicker the other. If that's the two keepers he's called up,
I
I'm not a big fan of Gunn. He had like a 2 year stint.
But most
He-
importantly, right, we know what Gunn can do. We know what Craig Gordon can do. And hell, even Liam Kelly, we know what he can do. We
Yeah.
don't really know what McCrory and
Well,
Slicker
we know,
can do.
we know. I'll be honest, I haven't seen Slicker. Don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
We know what McCrory can do domestically, but why not see what he can do on the international stage?
Yeah.
So I would like to see, or he is a friendly man. See if he plays Gun in one. Why not give McCrory and Slicker 45 minutes each in the other? You know, just fucking use them.
No, I totally agree.
No,
Right?
but how frustrating must it be? I get it. Major competitions, right? Sometimes you will just be there to make up the numbers. But seeing the friendlies, do you not think like the manager should just try and get everybody a bit of some minutes? Even if the third choice goalkeeper's coming on for 10 minutes at the end of the, do you know, I don't know, man. See, just calling people up to the friendlies and all you're doing is just like participating in training and sitting on the fucking bench.
No, I think the most interesting part's defenders. We've got Deutsch, Hanley, Hendry, Johnston, McKenna, Patterson, Ralston, Robertson, Suter, Tierney. Now, I say interesting because Big Patterson's back. All right, actually, Deutsch is in as well. But the question is, what's he going to play? 4 or 5 at the back. Now, we don't have any new, young, exciting centre backs. So what I would expect is, well, I mean, it's going to be Hanley, McKenna, Suter, Hendry. I mean, what is he going to go with 3? Is he going to go with 2? Who knows? So there's not a case really. Well, there's a non-cap in there. Give him game time. But as for Andy Robertson, right?
I would go with Hendry, McKenna, Suter.
Yeah, but see for Andy Robertson, I don't think Andy Robertson should even be here. Tierney has not played much for Arsenal, so I understand him being here, right? Ralston hasn't played much for Celtic, but we know what he can do for Scotland. Know an awful lot. Patterson's just back from injury. He should be playing. Deutsch, is this not a perfect opportunity for Deutsch to get minutes over the likes of Robertson?
Yeah,
Of
for
course it
me,
is.
I would go with. I know Patterson's back, but I want to see Johnston get a start. I would go with Johnston, McKenna, Hendry, Suter, and Deutsch. If it's a back 5, that would be my 5. Obviously, Patterson can make an appearance.
But we all know, right?
It'll be Ralston.
Yeah, we all know Robertson and Tierney will probably start. Tierney will be at left centre back. Gunn will start. Moving into the midfield, we've got Barron, Ferguson, Gilmore, Irvine, McGinn, McTominay, and Miller.
You know what? If it's
Irvine,
Irvine. Irvine. Irvine, former Hearts man. Don't really know how he's getting on at West Ham. Who would that? You know what, man? See if he lined up with the 4 in midfield and it was Barron, Irvine, Miller, and Ferguson. I'd have no complaints. I would have no complaints, but I don't think that's going to happen. He'll start McGinn and he'll start McTominay.
What do we gain as a name? But Gilmore's obviously a lot younger, but Gilmore's experienced in the first team. Pretty much been ever present since his introduction at the Euros a couple of years ago. What benefit is there for us if McTominay, McGinn, and Gilmore all start alongside Robertson and guys like that?
Absolutely none.
Like you said, right? It should be the other 3 or the other 4.
Now we move into the forward line and like this is depressing. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a Scotland lineup, squad, whatever,
so devoid of
just
wingers. Yeah. There's not one winger
here. I'm not like. I mean, I like Wilson. I think he could be a decent player, but I would not want him leading the line for Scotland. I think Bowie had a good season at Hibs. Don't think he should be leading the line for Scotland. Conway is pretty. He got a couple of minutes at the Euros, didn't he? And
you know what?
Didn't get enough.
I'll say.
And Hurst. I mean, I don't know who that's.
I think Kieran Boy's pretty good. He's been really good form, right? But speaking of guys that picked up form, where the fuck is Kevin Nisbet and Lawrence Shankland on this list?
Yeah. You know what? Though it's one of those ones where if he does pick Adams, it's almost like, well, you know what?
Yeah, no,
the
but
options are that slim.
where's Kevin Nisbet and Shankland?
Yeah,
There's no way.
Kevin Nisbet's just won a Scottish Cup with Aberdeen. Like, I mean,
And
I think,
Shankland's the best form he's been in feels like 20 years because he scored in a few games in a row there.
yeah, listen, Shankland shouldn't be out of the squad over Wilson. Now, here, see if he's actually going to play Wilson and then be like, oh, here's giving a chance to a young kid, but he probably wouldn't even get a minute. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
But to reiterate, the team right is. I mean, he might go four at the back because Tierney's been injured and he's done that right. And again, we're playing fucking Liechtenstein and Iceland, folks. Man, there's really no need to be playing five. But it'll be Gunn. It'll be Robertson, Ralston, Suter. I mean, I think that it's weird. The area, it'll probably be the centre backs where he could literally pick any four, right? But Grant fucking Hanley, man, there's no need anymore. No, there ain't. At least with Hendry, McKenna, Suter, similar age, you know, getting into their late 20s, the prime of their career. Grant Hanley, there's no need for this guy anymore, man.
No.
There ain't.
Suter, McKenna, Hendry, I mean, they will be around for the next, I'd say at least 3 tournaments. Next 3 major tournaments.
Yep.
You know, the next World Cup, Euros, that'll take them up to 2040, and it will put them, in they'll be around, 32, 33?
Yep.
Around that age. Well, Hanley will be retired by 2040.
What do we gain from starting Adams, McGinn, McTominay, Gilmore, Robertson?
I mean, Kenny McLean's no in there, so I guess
But he's
that.
injured.
Or else maybe he would be. Armstrong, what age is Armstrong now?
Barely played, though. That's the only reason he's not here.
What age is he, though? He must be.
43.
We need to start moving on, don't we?
No. One thing I think goes for Steve Clarke's favour for playing a strong team is the form's been fucking shite.
You know what? I think you can say they're friendlies, but I think we need to get a bit of confidence on the board and pick up some wins.
Yeah, no, we've won just one of our last 8 home games in all competition.
That's bogging.
Yeah, that is.
Say what you want about Scotland, and there's been times in our history we've not been very good, but I can't imagine there'll be many times where our home form was that bad.
Just like Rangers as well, man. That's absolutely disgusting. Tell you what, though, right? Is that not further proof to change it? It's no worked. Even with the tried and tested.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the 5 at the back worked at the beginning because you were getting Tierney and Robertson in there, but
I think
to me we've got so many. I think our midfield's so good now. I don't know. I don't like playing 5 at the back.
see Robertson and John McGinn. I think they've shat the bed in a Scotland shirt for years at this point. John McGinn has not been good for ages, man.
Yeah,
for us for Scotland,
we don't get the Aston Villa version of John McGinn, and I don't quite think we've ever really seen Andy Robertson at his best in a Scotland shirt. Not saying he hasn't had a couple of good. I'm not saying like every game has been shite, but I don't think like there's been times where John McGinn. I remember there was times for Scotland where John McGinn, for a period, would have been the first name on the team sheet.
Yep.
Every single game. To me, Andy Robertson's had the odd good performance in a Scotland shirt, but not saying he's been horrible, but I just don't feel like he's had this consistent period where for like a run of 10 games, he's been operating at an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I feel like McGinn's actually had that.
It's like I look at the midfielders. I mean, honestly, I'm not saying McGinn's 4th choice because he will start, but if someone said he's behind Gilmore, McTominay, Ferguson, I'd be like, fair enough.
At this current time, I could see that.
But he does offer the winger role, I guess, which Clarke likes. But anyway, we've chatted a load of shite about the squad. I mean, it's Iceland and Liechtenstein, man. It's like, if Stevie wants to get the Iceland game out the road with a strong team, then please just play a wee bit of, experiment a wee bit for the Liechtenstein game. There's no need to do.
That seems fair enough to me. Go with your familiar lineup in the Iceland game, then change it completely and experiment in the Liechtenstein game.
It's just the way he words it in the presser, man.
No, but listen.
You know me, I'm not experimenting.
See if we can't bring in Johnston and Doige and Ferguson and like a Connor Barron. See if they can't commit or like a Bowie or whatever. See if they can't come in and beat Liechtenstein, then they shouldn't be in the Scotland squad.
Yeah.
What future was I mean, like, if they ain't capable of beating Liechtenstein, then we may as well find out now.
That's it, folks. Right, so final score predictions for the Iceland game. Iceland's new manager. He's managed 2 games. He's lost both of them.
I'm going to go 3-1 Scotland.
I'll go 3-0. I think it'll be relatively easy.
Hope so.
I think it's 5 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. What day's tomorrow? Friday? Will it be? Nah, I don't think it'll be 5 o'clock on a Friday.
It's a bastard the night shift, isn't it?
It's a bastard.
Not quite an England bar Stuart, but it's.
Aye, no quite. I'll tell you what time it is. No, it's 7:45. Not much better for you, is it?
No.
It's no much better for him. Anyway, 3-1, 3-0. We need to win. It's as simple as that, but by God, it's like they're so depressing, the placement of these friendlies. The season's done and buried. The next season's like too long away, but it's not an international tour. It just feels dead. None of the players will want to be there. You won't want to get injured as well ahead of like the new season.
It's not even a competitive game. Like, it's not even a Nations League match or a qualifier.
Yeah, there's loads of World Cup qualifiers and all floating about.
Yeah, that's the disappointment. I don't like the new. I just don't like it when there's groups with less teams in it. It's frustrating.
Yeah. But our next 2 World Cup qualifiers.
Our first 2 World Cup qualifiers.
Ah, you know what I mean.
Tell you what, 2 away trips to Denmark and Belarus. Not the easiest starts, but here if we can come away with some good results, then
Tough enough group, that.
second offers you nothing.
We got scored at 3-0 at home by Greece, didn't we?
That was bad.
Steve Clarke, man. Guy's no cutting the mustard for me anymore.
Tell you what, I'd take 6 points in that wee double header.
I would big time. Don't know if we'll get it though.
I'd take 4. To be fair,
no, but see the logic though. That we need to build the unity between the players, right? And we need to keep playing the same team. It's a load of shite. See playing the same players, right? In June, and then these other games are in September. They've forgot all about it to a degree. But then at the same time, they've played that many games they need to gel, man. I just don't get it.
I think Steve Clarke's fortunate that we've been starved the major football competitions, because I think his record in both competitions he's qualified for has been shocking.
Yeah.
But because we hadn't been to one previously in like 22 years, I think he almost gets a pass. But we get to the major tournaments and he just...
No, let's call a spade. See to not win one game at the 6, man, it's fucking downright disgusting. Even if we were against the 6 best teams in each competition, I'd be like, it's still no good enough.
And it's 4 defeats and 2 draws. I don't know.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not like we're taking.
I'm not making excuses for Steve Clarke, but I mean, I would say in each tournament we've had like a major fuck up, haven't we?
Yeah.
We had Davy Marshall against Czech Republic, and that cost us that game.
Yeah, but who picked him?
And then we had the Ralston.
Aye.
Playing in Shaqiri.
Oh.
In Switzerland, and that, looking back, yeah, look, we had time to go on and win it, but that goal changed that game as well. I thought we were playing pretty well in that game until that goal.
Mad, that's a year ago, isn't it?
Aye, so I mean, who knows what happens if those mistakes aren't made? So I guess he's a bit unfortunate in that regards, but it's just not good enough, is it, man? You're looking at... I mean, the defeats, like Germany, you know what? We were pish.
Yeah, no, but...
And went down to you can accept that. Listen, I'm not going to... The hosts, right? I'm not going to sit here and say you shouldn't be losing to Germany. However, I mean, I think that we lost to... we lost to Czech Republic, who aren't great. We lost to an aging Croatian side. And I mean, I think Croatia are good, but... I mean, that game was at Hampden. We technically had home advantage. Lost that. And then we lost to Hungary, who... weren't that good. It's bad. It's bad crack. Like.
And then you think
the draw against England that was a good result for him. Like,
no, but
and who knows?
If you think of last Euros,
Stephen O'Donnell could have been a legend if that Foley went in, but
he could have been. But if you think of the last fucking Euros, folks, right, where he wouldn't make subs like the last 2 minutes, crying out for a guy up front, and Shankland couldn't get a sniff
Yeah, that was incredibly
when he's
frustrating.
in the form of his career, man. No, but yo, Alex, see losing to Germany, right, and not beating England, even though we drew. The two teams are just better than us on paper, right, and they just are better. That you have to kind of just accept it, right. Croatia again better than us, even though it's an Asian squad. But see Czech Republic, Switzerland, and Hungary. There is no excuse not to win at least one of those games.
You know.
They are free nations that get. We are equal with, in my opinion. We can't sit here and. I mean, it's weird. Some people are like, oh, we've got nowhere near the quality of Switzerland, but then at the same time, like they'll big up McTominay, Gilmore.
We've got more players at bigger clubs in Switzerland. Do.
We've got one of the best. We've literally got one of the best midfields
Our midfield's far superior to what Switzerland,
going.
Hungary, and probably better midfield than Croatia as well. Like I know they've
Yep.
got Modric, but
And
anyway,
I mean, left backs fucking galore, man. Centre backs are no bad, and goalkeeping options are all right. Just
get us to the World Cup and all is forgiven.
I would get us to the World Cup. What's he going to do at the World Cup?
Hold on here, I would just take getting to the World Cup. Holy fuck, it's been 1998. We need to get to a World Cup.
1998.
It's going on 30 years. It needs to end. Steve Clarke, can he end it? I don't know.
I don't think he's fucking. He's rank rotten, man. He's not. I'd
Did you not
rather
say you'd have taken out Rangers?
over Russell Martin.
Aye.
I think loads of people were saying that. Anyway, it's all over for Steve Clarke.